But yeah, I think the biggest problem the actors face, and this is I want to put on the doorstep of the filmmakers: give your actors their footage. Mm-hmm. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold them ransom. And the agents, when the actors do a TV show, you need to get something in the contract, or you need to fight for them to get that footage. Because I did an actor's reel. He'd been on a TV series, and they wouldn't give him the time of day. So all he needs is that few second shot to show he was on it. But the tough thing is getting the studio to just give you that clip.
Absolutely. Put it in the contracts are very easy to come by. You can get them off the internet very simply. Hell, you can get one at the Kinko's FedEx office. Little simple contracts that make sure you put it in. If you're not getting paid, your payment should be your actor's reel. Absolutely.
As far as if it hadn't been for Joe, the actors, we had a pretty good relationship on set. Everybody had a good work ethic. Everybody was patient. They followed, instructions. And that's what's important to me, a good work ethic and just pretty much an all-around positive attitude. Being able to vibe with people and kind of, everybody know what everybody else needs.
For the actors I work with on Acts of Coercion, they really took direction really good, and I've worked with them at least on one project before, so it's pretty easy to cast for that, but they had a really good work ethic. They respected everyone on the crew and were really patient, which is one thing I admire about the actors too. And yeah, they took direction really well, which is a good thing.
So, something you said, Stephen, I really want to kind of go off on a little bit more, which is, and I know you guys all have an opinion on this, is about free work and non-free work. We have a big issue with that. A lot of actors feel taken advantage of, and they're starting to speak to us here and there. And how do you deal with working with actors? I mean, some actors don't get paid and they don't get their footage. So tell me, what's the solution? Because I know some actors need the experience and love to be cast in a project, even if it's for free. So where are you guys at with your projects, and how are you? And I love what you said about giving your reels, because I have worked or seen so many local actors do local projects, and they're not getting their reels, and that to me is a travesty. So let's just kind of talk about that, and how might, and I like what you said about the actor contract, going into a free thing, making sure that you know, I'm going to work for you for free, but I want the footage on a week after the shoot, or just certain things that you can ask for. So let's just talk a little bit more about that, because that is a big hot topic right now in Georgia.
Okay, I have very opinionated on this. I got a whole webinar I give on IMDb. Like it or not, IMDb is your new resume. Because if you go, a production company looks at you, you can put anything you want on your resume and they'll glance at it. But you show up, you've got a printout of your IMDb. And if you're not on IMDb, you absolutely have to work on short films for free, because how else are you going to get the credits? The thing is, I tell actors is, first of all, make sure that they finish the film, because they don't always finish. Make sure that they put it in a film festival, because that's the whole process of getting it on IMDb. I made sure all my actors sign releases. I make sure I finish the film. I get it into festivals. The last film, everybody's credit was up within 2 weeks after it got on, after it was released. So you have to do that, because IMDb is essential to your, to your career as an actor.
Absolutely is. The funny part is that people are too easy to worry about the wrong things with IMDb. First off, the star meter. Leave it the hama alone. It has nothing to do with anything. What they care about is, just like my colleague said, it's about your credits. If you have full-fledged credits and you have many of them, people are like, that's the thing, wow, he's horrible. Let's start looking. Okay, that's definitely, absolutely. IMDb is your resume, and it's a confirmation of your work.
Well, as far as working with my actors, right now we do like micro to no budget projects, but I like to make sure that, like everybody else said, that they get their credits, that it's on IMDb and it's on there in a timely manner. So at least if they don't get paid, they get credit for their work. And if I have the budget for it, I like to make sure that people, get a little gas money for their travel, just to make everything easier, because a lot of times if there's no money involved, people won't take you seriously. whether they know it's free from the gate or not. So at least kind of, help them out a little bit. And also food. Make sure that they have food, because I was on a set of a film a couple years ago and it was no food. We was promised food and we had to pretty much put our money together and get like 10 pizzas. And it was a bad experience. So if you treat people right and do what you're supposed to do on your end, to at least, have enough respect to make sure that everything goes smoothly, then I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, over here.
For me, I didn't start using IMDb until this year, so before that, to help my actors out, I would have food on set, and another thing too is footage is really important, which is why a lot of them agree to it too. So a lot of them usually prefer when a movie is done to get their footage, but I try to offer them as soon as I get the footage, here, if you want, you could have the raw footage and stuff and make it available to them, because they're doing you a big favor by doing your film for free and helping you get along, so it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the people who are in charge of organizing and setting schedules and stuff also have to be considerate to their actors, because especially if it's a free project, they have lives outside of whatever weekend that they're working with you, and it's not you have to be organized so that you can help those people to help you, basically. If they are working all week and they're shooting with you on a weekend, don't wait until Thursday to tell them their shooting schedule for that weekend. It's not fair to them. And be realistic with whatever you're shooting. If you have a big idea that requires lots of time, maybe you should wait until you have a budget and can pay these people, because you shouldn't expect them to spend every single weekend with you for free.
I'm gonna say this. The thing I would challenge the filmmakers listening and to you guys is to go ahead and do a demo reel for your actors. Go ahead and you've got the footage for your actors. You may have edited a scene with to tell the story, but you can re-edit the scene and focus on a particular actor. They would greatly appreciate that. Focus on there. Don't over rehearse. I see a lot of productions over rehearse their actors where it's going to have 6 or 7 rehearsals. So I got to drive to Atlanta an hour to get to the rehearsal, sit around for a couple hours, do my lines, and then just bring me in once or twice for a table read and one rehearsal, and don't overdo it. You will get, and if you do these things, you will get the trust and admiration from the local community. If you deliver, actors will say, they'll quickly tell each other, don't work with him. They don't provide the footage. They have a bad experience. So, these things. And the last thing I want to say to this is when you're writing scripts, especially first time and coming out of the gate, and don't overthink that. Don't have a plane crash and have your actors come out, all day in prosthetics. If you don't, they're going to be worn out quick, and they're going to talk. So keep the script simple. So go ahead.
Well, I just want to get back on the subject of us talking about pay and non-pay. The one thing we haven't got a chance to touch on is an actor's pay is one of two things: money or definitely their reels. Absolutely. But the thing is, the people are starting to wonder and have definitely hurt themselves trying to figure out when they should get paid and when they should not get paid. It's a very simple equation. If you don't feel like if you don't feel like you should do work and not get paid, don't submit to non-paid work. It's that simple. There are projects out there that pay $25 a day, $100 a day, what have you. Submit to those. Do not submit to non-paid work. If you feel like you just want to get your experience in and use that as your school to get things done, get your credits, then absolutely, then you know where you are. But the whole quandary of whether should I get paid or not paid, it's a very simple choice whether to submit or not submit.
Okay, let me follow up on pay, not pay. And this goes across the entire spectrum of the crew, cast, everybody. Pay trumps a non-pay. So if I schedule a weekend and I have a whole cast and crew ready, and anybody, whether it's the actor or the gaffer, if they get paid work, do not hold that against them. You have to let them go get paid work. They have to make a living like everybody else. So if you have to reschedule a weekend because somebody got paid work, we're good for them. So what messes up your schedule? You're asking people to do things for you free. You can't be unreasonable about it.
Absolutely. Do not take advantage of an actor's work ethic. That is just wrong.
Oh, I got one. I got it. I see a lot of, you guys can talk about this too, filmmakers who bring actors in, and it's almost like they're building this tribe. And they have these overblown expectations of the actors to be a part of every single little detail of their film. Like, oh, we're going to be at this event, we're going to be here, we're going to be there. And so the actor feels like, an ongoing web series, as I see that happening, where the web series just seems to never end, and they're filming every single weekend. So, I think for the actor, it's important to make sure, I guess maybe talk about what can an actor do going into a project to defend themselves or to protect themselves. And one thing that comes to mind is taking a look at the footage. Like, if I'm going to audition for you or agree to your project, I'd like to, maybe the actor can say, hey, can I see some of your previous work, or can I speak to some actors who have been on a set? If anybody else wants to speak to that.
Well, actors are very simple when we're dealing with that exactly. Actors not knowing when to quit or know when to get out. When auditioning or even interviewing for a project, know your exit strategy. That's the biggest thing. That's just because you're a business yourself, so like any business, know your entry, know your exit strategy. If you're going to a web series, how long am I planning on being on? What's my reoccurring role? How many seasons, episodes I'll be doing? As long as you know what this is, this is the way you can defend yourself. Again, it falls back under contract, okay? As long as you know what you're doing, you can always re-up a contract, but you should never break one. So definitely know your exit strategy when dealing with whether web series or any other project.
Well, I'm currently dealing with a similar situation, except I'm on the crew. It's one of those things where when I first started, I was doing it to learn, and so was everybody else. So no one really knew what they were getting into. So I suggest, if you're looking to get into something that you want to work with people who know more than you, definitely ask those questions. What have you been involved with? Can I see it? Or like, can I look you up somehow? Can I look up your previous work? Because you don't want to end up in a situation where no one knows anything about the industry at all, and you'll end up shooting for like 5 months, which is what I've been doing.
I think that in a situation like this, Google is your best friend. And usually with any producer or any project, a lot of times you can go on and Google. Like recently I had to Google someone, and you can kind of, read up about that person, or find out people. Find people they've worked with, just talk to people. That's what networking is about. And you'll find out, like, you need to learn your people and learn who you're dealing with. And like everyone else said, in the beginning, just ask. Asking is your best friend.
Well, it goes back also to IMDb. Like I said, if you're working with people that have no IMDb credits at all, that means they haven't even done a short film that's been put in a festival. It doesn't matter whether it was accepted, they haven't even put it in a festival. And the biggest thing I tell short filmmakers is, you can shoot a new budget film, but you really need to have $1,000 you can drop on festival entries. Because I only got into these festivals because I entered 25 to 30 festivals. The odds are 5% or less. The Atlanta Film Festival had 2,212 entries for 84 slots. It's 4% chance. So, but you finish the film, you get it into IMDb through going without a box. That's the least they can do. But also, if you can see the work, because you can have a perfectly horrible film that's got all kinds of credits, but it's a terrible film.
I think a lot of filmmakers get trapped into over dreaming their film, and they want to do a long film or a long ongoing web series, and they're so caught up and they see their vision, and it's just like they got to film one more weekend. And I just love filmmakers like who keep it simple. Like, I really like what you're doing, and I know how you started, Stephen. Simple, short weekend projects. Build like 4 or 5 of those, even with just your first project with like you did with just your friends. So the risk is minimal. You're not having a big audition. You're just keeping things simple. And then learn your craft. Make your process strong and understand all the elements, and make small improvements each time. And you'll be a.
I agree with you. Keep it simple when it comes to working. Overdoing it, you're going to wear your actors down. One of the biggest things that's became my pet peeve, and it's sad to say, is the word safety. Okay, if I hear safety 500 times, it's not safety, it's retake. Okay, that's what that is. That's all that kills an actor in a heartbeat. We're gonna retake it again. Awesome. I'm prepped. I'm ready. Let's rock and roll. The whole let's get safety 5 freaking times. I'm just gonna, I walk in a husk. I walk away. Yeah.
A husk?
A husk.
I think you mean a husk. A husk is never mind.
The most important thing for me in my career is just taking baby steps. Just like with any business, you have to take baby steps. You start small, you learn, you fail forward, and you work your way up. And I kind of used this, it was a film that we watched a couple years ago called The Man from Earth. And it's basically one set, it's a group of people in this living room having a conversation with this man who says he's lived for like thousands of years and had all these experiences. And it was a simple film, but the story was very compelling. And if you can find a good story to tell with a simple, production, that don't take a whole lot, then I think that's, you start strong and simple. That's what, my goal was, strong and simple.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go back to his point about safeties. As a director, I'm guilty of saying that's perfect, do it again. But never happened. But the thing is, that's one, maybe 2 safeties if something goes wrong technically. But a safety is just that, it's just a backup, because anything can happen, and if anything happens to the footage, especially
Absolutely.
digital, there's nothing to go back to.
Absolutely.
But yeah, don't abuse your actor's trust by, plus, you're slowing down your whole production when you do that. You're never going to finish. And I do video playback also on features and TV series. I went down to shoot. I was there 9 hours, and they came in and said, we're not going to get to your scene, goodbye. So they paid for that entire day for nothing because one of the actors was an executive producer who kept retaking his scene. He didn't like it. And I think that's the risk of, if it's good, the audience is going to like it. But
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a scary thing. Having actors as executive producers, for just my opinion, should never be. Okay, should never be, especially when you're dealing with a non-paid film. I've seen this happen where a director bring everybody out. He's trying to do too much in one day. Next thing you know, you came out there, you spent 12 hours, and voila, you just got you had your time literally wasted. So and it happens. Unfortunately, people trying to do too much and not using what's called a shooting schedule. Okay, but yeah, absolutely. With like Steven said, it's just you're going nowhere down your actors. It's just that's not fair to them.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to shift gears a little. I mean, you guys, this being Actors Month, I wanted to focus on the actors, and I mean, we have such a great talent base here in Georgia, and I want to applaud you guys for doing such great work, working with your talent and so forth. But I want to focus on your films, and I want you guys to tell me about your projects from the point of your struggles. I want you guys to tell me not so much about the great things about it, but what did you learn? What mistakes did you make? What things did you learn about this film that you're going to improve on for the next project? And we're all works in progress, so no one's perfect. So I want the people listening to learn from this podcast. So what were some things that you felt like you can improve on for the next one, and what did you learn?
I don't know about improving, but I can definitely say trying to prep yourself from it ever happening is called brain farting. Okay, when I worked on Portal Origins, we had this one scene, this nice little monologue kind of deal, and we literally had to take a 5-minute break because I could not get the fog out of my head so I can see my lines to do them. So, and as an actor, you're going to have this happen numerous of times. Instead of don't waste the crew's time, don't waste footage. Just tell the director, hey, can I have 5 minutes to get myself together? They will love you for that. Okay, take 5, take drinks and all that. After you get yourself together, bam, you hit it. So yeah, absolutely. If there's anything to learn from what I did, definitely tell the director, give me 5 minutes. I cannot get my head cleared so I can do my job properly, and apologize. And then once you get back, hit it hard, and I guarantee they'll be very thankful. You save time and money by doing such.
Mm-hmm.
As director for If It Hadn't Been for Joe, I feel like we should have had more transition shots that we could have, shots that could have transitioned smoothly to another scene. I mean, we had a lot of abrupt shots and some things that we, could have better worked on for us transitioning, and probably having more If I had pretty much having more than one camera, that helps sometimes. But you work with what you have. But transitions, yeah.
I have a tendency to overwrite dialogue, and we had to do a lot of cutting stuff down, so I learned about that. And also, I learned that small details are very important. Like the part when, the car stopped, it has to be in the exact spot for the wide shots, and, just the little bitty small details that you would think, are like just, I guess, not important, to really pay attention. Because if you don't, you have a lot of people who are not savvy when it comes to production, but but the people who are going to be over the festivals and stuff, they have that keen eye, and you have to make sure, that everything lines up.
Yeah, that brings up the point of script supervisor, because we had a couple of shots we just weren't there when I got to the edit bay, and I'm like, and it was the nights we didn't have a script supervisor there. So I got to a shot, and it was a key shot in the whole film where he simply nods to react, and there was no shot. We never took that shot. So now I'm scanning through every single take of that angle, and I caught him where he just looks like he's nodding. So now you won't know that watching the film, but I was just lucky, because if you get to that point, it's almost impossible to recreate that. Plus, it's embarrassing to ask all these people to drag back out and shoot one stupid little insert. It's,
That's the thing about us as actors and what we do here in the local area, is that we are held up to a way higher standard than feature films you see in theaters these days. These $1 million budget films, we're held at a higher standard. Why? I ain't got a freaking clue, but we do, and you know what? It's kind of great. The fact that you have these high standards mean that you have to keep that bar high. So when you step into Hollywood, they're going to look at you and say, "Oh my God, your standards are amazing." And
I would say one of the things that I've learned is to make sure you do your pre-production plan, schedule, do your location scouting. Don't wait until you're ready to shoot and you still haven't taken care of this stuff. That is a big time waster. Or you wouldn't want your crew and your actors to be there and you don't have everything lined up the way they should be. And when I say organize, I mean like you basically got to over organize. Like every little detail, like she said, matters, even in pre-pro. Like the phrase is, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, so you need to be prepared.
Dave?
Yeah, for me, like this last project, we're really organized. That work, sent the script out to the cast about 2 weeks before, seeing what dates work for them to start setting schedules up and locations and whatnot, and then had a rehearsal a week before. The thing I think we could improve upon is time management, because when we actually got to the location, sometimes you try to spend more time on one scene than another scene, and you kind of get too caught up in it, and time runs out for other scenes. So kind of trying to prioritize what shots are more important than others.
You kind of need those people. You need people to balance you. You need the person who's going to be very into getting the right shot, and you need that person who's going to be like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You need a time person, and then you need that extra creative person who wants to get it right to kind of balance everything out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's actually on professional sets, it's the first AD's job. They're basically the drill sergeant. So it's like we have to keep moving, and that's the other thing is you want to do films that cost practically nothing, so everybody get their experience in, and you're not risking a lot because you're not going to make any money on a short. Right. But on the other hand, if you underserve your crew, or if you don't bring enough people out to do all the stuff you need to have covered, then that's where I've screwed up, is when I'm trying to juggle too many things at once, and it just slips through the cracks. There are people out there that want experience. But the other side of that is that you have a lot of people with very little experience that they don't care. They'll come to work for free to do all this stuff, but every person there is a mouth to feed, and that's money. And while you want people to learn, you don't want their learning process to inhibit your shoot.
You gotta keep track of them. You gotta almost deal with them. You were gonna say something, Val, I think?
Yeah, actually, when I was on Guardian of Mine, which is an amazing film, we had very limited people. And I talked to the director. He's a great director, by the way. He was trying to do so much. And I was like, you have people here that are actors that are willing to do more than just act to make sure this film pushes forward. And he's like, you know what, you're right. So he got all of us together and says, look, I could really use your help. And he apologized. He said, I'm sorry that I didn't think about this, but if I can get you all's help, we can push forward. And sure enough, I've gaffed it. I've helped with sound. I've helped with props, along with all the other actors. And we was able to get it through and actually finished on time of our schedule, because actors getting together and says, I don't mind. Hell, even the makeup artist even jumped in and tried to grab the boom mic, Yeah, okay, at the time they start tapping you on your head like you're doing Morse code, but, we got through it, so I love it.
I guess that just kind of reiterates what you guys were saying about the actors in the Atlanta market. They're held up to a higher standard. When I was on a project a couple years ago, the production crew was limited, and we had actors grabbing slate boards and helping set up lights and stuff like that. It's like, when things are short on the production side, the actors are so motivated, and so driven to help get the project done that they're willing to step up to the plate and step out of their comfort zone to help, keep things moving forward.
That's work ethics that you cannot buy. I'm telling you that. You find actors like that, take them and run with them and show them how grateful you are, because that's just work ethics you cannot buy.
I just want to say I'm so glad y'all said that, because the project that I'm working on, the director is so afraid to pull actors in because he thinks that's a big no-no, but we need it. We don't have any funds to get all these people and feed all these people, like you said. So when there's only 4 or 5 of us on set to get this little scene, I don't see why you're afraid to ask the actor who's not in the shot, hey, you want to help us out?
Well, he'll know now.
Well, you're talking about especially people doing web series. A big warning is how many scripts are completely written. Have they gotten the entire season done on paper, ready to go? Because if they haven't, that's a big warning sign. If they're going to make it up as they go, run.
No, he's got
Because you don't make up as you go. Everything should be, ideally, storyboarded out and ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta have somebody to storyboard. Oh my God, you gotta have somebody to storyboard. You have to secure your locations. As an actor, we've come across this quite a few times where the locations weren't secured. The people I've dealt with was, everything will work out. I'll talk to them later. Fool, call these people. Yeah. You crazy man.
Yeah, I love, again, to reiterate, I love seeing projects from filmmakers. One thing you guys we all mentioned was locations. And I love when a filmmaker says, hey, we're going to write around a location we already know is secure. This house or this facility, versus writing a script that has an airplane or has a location and you're just scrambling the day before to get it. So when I see, as filmmakers say, hey, we're going to shoot here, I've already got, it's going to be my house or so-and-so's house, it's good. I feel good about that. We know the location's not going to fail. Short script, character-driven, those are great. So I kind of had you guys talk, about your struggles and, the problems and stuff. Now I want to hear, kind of the last question is your film, what excites you about your project? What excites you about screening it, Get Connected? And I'm also interested in finding out, how can we make Get Connected even better? If you have some ideas to share on what your experiences have been at the event, how can we better serve the community? But also mainly, what's your excitement about seeing your movie screen? What are you most excited about your audience seeing your film? What gets you excited?
For me, since my film is pretty much about human trafficking, I want people to see Atlanta is the #1 city in the U.S. for that, to be more aware. But one of the most important things too, in addition to that, is to get my actors out there. They're really brilliant and marvelous actors. I want their skills to be shown and people to see them for what they did, the great job they did. So that's what I'm excited to see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I pretty much was happy to know that getting screened at Get Connected. I mean, I feel like, getting screened and Get Connected would be a chance for other people to actually see what, we've produced. I mean, as far as us creating the product and feel like, yeah, see the work, yeah, so.
I'm excited because this is my first film. I wrote the script. Myself, and I kind of took it from all the different stories. I grew up in a small town in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, pretty much, but I was surrounded by a lot of interesting people, during my life and during my childhood, and the fact that I could take all the things that they've told me, all the different strange stories they told me, and turn it into a story and put it into a script and materialize it into an actual film and get to share that with people. That's what excites me the most. That I get to take all the stuff, even though a lot of those people are not here anymore. I get to take kind of like a part of them and put it out, to the world for people to see. And that, excitement is not even a word that, describes how I feel about it.
Well, I think a film only lives when it's seen. The rest of the time it just sits somewhere. It's only alive. It only affects anything when it's seen. And I'm excited about my actors, local actors, getting their very deserved attention for their terrific work, because all my movies have wonderful actors. And and the thing is, this is their payback. It's not just IMDb. It's not just everything else. Everybody wants to be appreciated for the job they do. You can tell an actor they're wonderful on the set, but it's like the thrill actors get on. That's why they do theater, because there's an immediate feedback.
Yes.
Well, an actor's on a set, they may get applause, they may not, because a lot of times you don't applaud on set because it's not appropriate. But when you're in a theater and they get that, that crowd that they can see are just watching every moment, that's part of their payback. That's one of the reasons they act.
That's euphoria for us.
So that's their payment. So the big thing I'd say was just try to cram everybody we can into the theater. I know that they're a network, but try to get everybody we can into the theater to watch these films because they deserve it.
Yeah.
Just because they're not in it doesn't mean that they shouldn't watch it. Yeah, absolutely. Respect and honor those that are trying to be, try to be seen, because you're going to want them to do the exact same thing for you. One of the things I'm really excited about Portal Origins being premiered here is because, one, it's my first special effects film. I had no idea what I was doing, okay? So the fact that I even did this film and never even played the video game and it came out right was even amazing. So that's why I'm happy. This will be my second film being premiered in a theater, okay? I don't count 42 because that was an accident. I was in there, but, So, but yeah, hindsight and now this one. Lead roles, so I'm very excited, happy that everybody gets to see it. I'm grateful for Brent for even allowing us to do this. So yes, thank you. That is the appreciation that the actors and film directors, filmmakers, that's the epitome of appreciation, is being able to see people, be able to watch it, and being able to show it at a place. So yes, absolutely.
Despite the many struggles of the series that I'm working on, I am really excited about it. I mean, a lot of people have put in a lot of work, and the writer is really good, and that was one of the reasons why I decided to do it in the first place, is I really stood behind the story and his writing style. He's a really amazing writer, so I'm still really excited about it, and I can't wait to see the finished product when we finally get it done.
The good news is when y'all do get it done, y'all be able to laugh about all the time it took.
I mean,
yeah. All right. Well, final thoughts. Just if you can, just tell us your name and what film you have screening at Get Connected, and any final thoughts. We'll start with Jackie there.
Hello, I am Jacqueline Loggins. The film that I have that will be screened at Get Connected is If It Hadn't Been for Joe. And as far as Get Connected, I really appreciate an event such as Get Connected, where people get a chance to, network and kind of put their work and their product out and present to each other. And basically, I just hope that the people that Get Connected keep doing what they're doing to strengthen the local market and give people who want a chance, who wouldn't otherwise have a chance, to be, pushed out there and for their career to be launched.
Okay. My name is Montreal Loggins. I DP and edited on the film If It Hadn't Been for Joe, and I appreciate what Get Connected has done for many people, and I appreciate what they're about to do for us this time around too also.
Stephen P. Sherwood, writer, director, editor of Passing. Just hope everybody comes out to see it. This also went through our screenwriting workshop that I do with Brent, the Blank Page Screenwriting Workshop. We meet every other Tuesday and read an act from 2 different screenplays, and coverage is so important because you don't just write it in one pass, go out and shoot it, because you will regret it. You need to have your script looked at by other people and given coverage. But Get Connected is a great venue for showing your films. You're going to get it in front of a lot of people, and I think this is going to be one of the best.
My name is Valen Brenwin, for those of you I haven't caught on yet. I am with Portal Origins and have quite a few other films. My final thought for you actors out there, we are nothing special, okay? We are the workhorses that brings a story to life. So if you're on a high horse, get off of it. If you're on a pedestal, leave it alone. Do yourself a favor. Work, work, work. I don't care if it's non-pay or some pay or even in the class. Work, because this is your career. Understand that's what this is your career, okay? So if you don't do anything else, you don't have to be rich and famous. If you can pay your bills on being an actor, you are a success. And I can't stress that enough. Good luck, everyone.
My name is Dave Rajkumar, and I'm a co-writer and director for Acts of Coercion, screening at Get Connected. I'm really grateful for the opportunity of screening at Get Connected. I actually got to screen a movie there last summer, and it really get me to connect with a lot of filmmakers and actors who are in some of my projects right now. So I keep hoping that this event gets bigger and more filmmakers and actors could, get their game up in the Atlanta community. One thing I really like about that, it brings like the entire Atlanta film community together. We're small, but we're getting big, the Hollywood of the South. So, my advice to all you actors, just keep on working hard. If something doesn't succeed, you don't get the audition, just keep trying. You'll get to the big screen one day.
My name is Shaquita Williams, and the project I'm working on is not currently screening and Get Connected because we're still in production. So I'm just kind of here to, conversate and stuff.
Well, guys, I am honored to have y'all on screen this Thursday, and I did this so y'all could network, and so we could squeeze out all the knowledge and experience that you guys had, and you could pass that along. I believe in paying things forward, and so I hope you guys can network, and if you have other films you have coming up, Get Connected is a great opportunity. When you guys get up on stage and talk about your other projects, you're going to meet a lot of actors, and bring the good vibes, the good energy, and be sure to step out of your comfort zone, meet someone new, shake hands with someone you've never met before, make sure everyone feels welcome, and I think it's going to be a great event. So on behalf, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Lillian Brooks, who's doing sound. Round of applause for. She's doing our sound for us, and sure.
We didn't really touch it. It's because you asked us a question a while back before we got this really going. It was, how can we enrich and make our community stronger as in this acting for Georgia? And there's a quote that was said, and I love it to death because Dwayne Johnson said it best: "Strong people lift people up. They never put them down." Okay, so us as actors, if we can, if we're the strong ones, help the ones that need help. Don't put your foot on them. Don't stick your nose up. Help them. Because what's going to happen is we'll become stronger and we'll become better. And then LA is going to look to us and ask us, can you please help us? And that is the biggest and best thing that Georgia could ever ask for, is by us being the humbled ones, the strong ones, helping the weak ones, making them just as strong. And then we do the best thing ever, which is moving forward.
Yeah, there is something to be said about that, and what you give is what you receive, and it's hard to sometimes remember that in this competitive industry. But I think we're building a community, and we can of people. If you help someone else's dreams come true, and the more people you help, you're going to have dream makers all around you, and all and somebody's going to give that back to you, and if not, then heck, you've helped 10 people reach their dreams. So I also want to thank my partner Autumn, who's incredible and is just tenacious as ever, and much love to Autumn Bailey out there. And we'll hope to see you at Get Connected this Thursday, and hopefully this podcast will live on and help many filmmakers in the future. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.